This is one of the largest museums in the world and houses 1.95 million artifacts so far in this huge museum. Okay, any questions? So far, so good?
So now, I guess I'm curious, is this something that can be bought somewhere? Like
Yeah, sure. Okay. From me, $10. kidding. I have 2 of this, each for you. Okay, you can keep it a souvenir.
And in 1925, what caused the end of the Qing dynasty?
In 1911, actually, Democratic Revolution, led by Dr. Sun Yat-sen, overthrew this dynasty and established the democratic government. Okay?
1911, that's when it started, right? Because it took like quite a few years for it to finally collapse the.
No, very quick.
Very quick?
Very quick. But, they actually, they signed this peaceful agreement. And they hand over the dynasty or the country peacefully. They would have the privilege to sleep inside the Forbidden City forever. And then they signed the agreement. So they lived inside for another 13 years. Yeah. And then there's another government took over. They kicked them out of here. Mm-hmm. So I have 2 of this. Do you want to have it now, or you want me to give you later?
Yeah, later.
Yeah, because you don't have rooms. Yeah. Just hopefully I won't forget this. Let me know when we finish the tour. You need the map. A good souvenir, bilingual map of the Forbidden City. Look at the little figures sitting on the roof of the building to decorate the house, as well as representing the hierarchy, the status of the house.
Is all of that decorative stuff made of wood?
You mean the mythical figures?
Yeah, and all of this.
Yeah, underneath they are inside the main structure is wood, but on top of the main structure, they are all the ceramic tiles.
Okay.
Ceramic tiles made of clay. Seeing the small version of the painting, we just saw it from afar, but this is the closer version and a large version of this painting. This emperor died at the age of 89 in 1799, died the same year as George Washington died, so they were contemporaries. And this emperor died at the age of 89, that's the oldest emperor in China's history. On that emperor's list, which consists of 494 emperors, he's the oldest. Whereas the average life expectancy for the Chinese emperors was only 41. Wow. He's the oldest. Do you know why they died so early at such a young age?
So is he part of the Qing dynasty?
Yeah, part of the Qing dynasty, the oldest emperor. He ruled the country for 63 and a half years. And he was so proud of his dynasty. He thought that China was the center of the whole world in terms of the territory, the population, the civilization, the technique. We don't need to learn any, other culture, technical stuff from foreign countries. That's why he started this closing door policy at the end of his ruling period, which backfired a lot, to make China fall behind the world civilization. Only 40 years later, after he died, China's door was first opened by the British Army, and forced China to open more ports to the Western countries, and forced Chinese government to cede Hong Kong to the British for like 100 years.
Yeah.
That's what his policy, which kicked off a dark period in the country.
Is this building old?
Yes.
Like all the other ones?
Yes.
And so was it used for furniture during the dynasties?
That's right.
Was it? So they were just storing furniture in here?
Yes.
And then when the emperor wanted to use it, they would move it to another place?
That's right.
I see.
Actually, this is part of it. There are more furniture buildings in this area, storage houses. And in 2015, they said, this is a beautiful place. Why don't we open this to the public? Yeah. And then they just reset up the furniture over here and open to the public. So that little guy who is pouring the tea to the emperor, that little guy is actually a eunuch. In the Qing dynasty, there were 3,000 to 5,000 eunuchs work for the emperor. During the Ming, 50,000. They were castrated and make them possible to work for the emperor's ladies, to work in the harem, to receive a certain amount of money to pull the family out of the poverty. Most of the eunuchs come from the poor families. Okay, let me show you this video clip of The Last Emperor, which is actually filmed inside in 1980s. That movie won 9 Oscar awards in 1988. So that's like a documentary movie about the last emperor. He was the emperor at the beginning at the age of only 3, but his dynasty collapsed at the age of 6 years old. This emperor, this guy, this is the picture of him at the age of 16 when he got married. He experienced a lot, like from the emperor to the puppet emperor and to the prisoner, and end up being the gardener before he died. So he experienced a lot. This is the movie of the last emperor when he was 3 years old. So can you see it? Clear?
Yeah.
Huh? So this is the little emperor. This is the palace. How it, only 3 years old, how it looked like inside. We're not allowed to walk into the palace nowadays, but this is the video can give us an idea how it looked like inside. So the day the father was kneeling right next to the emperor. He's the emperor, his father is not the emperor.
Why is that?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Yeah, you see, this baby emperor was only 3 years old who couldn't sit still, kept moving around. And his father got so worried. And his father said to him, his father was trying to keep him still on the throne, and said to him, "It will soon be over. Don't move. We will soon be over. Come on, we will soon be over. Just stay there for a while." But the other officials got so shocked because they thought that his father suggested the Qing dynasty will soon be over, and his father's words may jinx the dynasty. But that's true. Only 3 years later, what his father suggested really come true. The dynasty lasted for 267 years, collapsed. But he still lived inside for another 13 years. Let's continue to see this little emperor is walking out of the palace. He's walking in the middle. Even now, the central ramp still remain closed to the public. That's the place where only the emperor can walk. He's giving audiences to these officials and ministers. They were performing kowtow to this little emperor. So right in the middle, there's a sedan chair, which is used to carry the emperor. Even inside the Forbidden City, the emperor will be carried around. So this is the emperor, and this is the picture when he was released from the prison. So he was the emperor, and he was made up as a puppet emperor, known as a Manchukuo, in northeastern part of China under Japanese control. And then he was captured by the Red Soviet Army at the end of the Second World War and sent back to China after the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949. He was given this amnesty in 1959 and received a job in the botanical garden as a gardener. He was a gardener. He died in 1967, died of the kidney cancer. And even though he married 5 ladies, he had no children. That's the end of the emperor. Okay. Not only in the Qing dynasty, but throughout the whole feudal dynasty, the last one. We can move to the middle.
Is that movie produced in Chinese?
English, actually.
English? Okay.
Because they were trying to compete in the Oscar competition. That's why that's the English version.
Okay.
This is directed by a famous Italian director.